Welcome back, students, to Washington Township Middle School, where education is the great equalizer. Today, we're going to be doing an overview, but we also want to talk about your dreams, because your dreams are your ticket. Your dreams are where are going to take you places, and that's what this is all about. So we have a couple questions we want you to think about. First, what do you want your future to look like? Where do you see yourself 10 years down the road? Because some of you, gang, there's 2 semesters this year, and then 4 in high school, so that's or 8 in high school, so that's 10. 7th graders, you guys have a whopping 12 semesters, and you guys will be graduating. So you have to think about it. It's going to go pretty quick. March to now went pretty quick. So what do you want your future to look like? Do you want to be a farmer? Do you want to be an airline pilot? Do you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a professional athlete, a vet tech, a pipe fitter, work with your hands? What do you want your future to look like? That's what we want you to start thinking about right now. Next, what are you willing to do to make your future happen? What are you willing to do to make your future happen? To reach your goal, what are you willing to do? And what must you do to make your future a reality? No one's just going to hand it to you. You're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to beat out 8 other people probably going for the same job that might have better skills than you. Because when you look at the number of people in the world, we're at 330 million here in the United States. Between China and India, that's 2.4 billion. That's 8 times more people than we have. And you take the top 10% smartest people over there, that's 240 million. You take our top 10% smartest people, that's 30 million. That's an 8-to-1 ratio. So what must you do to make your future a reality? And it starts with your education. You have to put every ounce of energy you have into these remaining years that you have in school. So let's take a look at last year. Basically, it was a tale of 2 school years. First, August to February, the brick and mortar. You're in school, you're with your friends, you're socializing, you're doing things. Then comes March to May, the Rona hit. The coronavirus hits and upends our world as we know it. Okay, we can no longer go and do the things we want to do because you might get sick. You could pass it on to somebody else. And so school took on a different thing. There was given grace periods, and you're learning from home. Well, for some of you, you did magnificent, fantastic, superb. Others of you, let's just call a spade, not so much. You didn't do the work you needed to do. You opened it up, looked at it, and said, nah, don't want to do it. And you had your parents believing that, oh, it's not important, I don't have to do it. Well, that grace period is now gone, okay? There's no longer, hey, I have half the 9 weeks to get it done, or I'll just wait till the last day and turn everything in and save my hide. That's not going to happen anymore. So the tale of 2 school years is something that, was definitely big. So what is 2021 school year going to look like? Well, as you can see, it's a blank page. We don't know. Let's face it, we're planning for the best, we're hoping for the best, but in the back of our minds, we know, and the health department's even said it, the state health department, sooner or later, we will be probably out of school for some length of time. Don't know when, don't care. So we're going to take on the attitude of win. The acronym WIN. Win means to overcome, defeat your opponent. Well, that's kind of what we're going to do because we're looking at it as what is important now. What's important now? It was a phrase coined by Lou Holtz when he was the head football coach at Notre Dame when they won the national championship. What's important right now? Okay? Because yesterday, let's face it, is gone forever. So yesterday's gone. We can't do anything to change yesterday, what happened yesterday. Tomorrow, well, we can influence it, but it's yet to be. We don't know what's going to happen. We can plan for it. We can make all sorts of contingency plans and be prepared, but we don't know what it's going to look like. The only thing we can control is the right now. Your destiny lies today with thee. Another way to look at it is this. The past is a statement. Yeah, this is what happened. The future is a question. We don't know what the future holds. So we have to live in the now. So that's why it's what's important now. So what does that mean? Be prepared to learn every day. Every minute we have is precious. Every second of every class. We don't have time to breathe. We have to go, all out, like you're at the Indy 500 going into that first turn at 220 miles an hour. We're not going to lift off the we're not going to lift off the gas. Okay? So, we must and will utilize every class session to its fullest extent. I'm probably overzealous, thinking we're going to be able to conquer all this, but you know what? I would rather have more than not enough in the classroom to do. I'm going to throw every type of work at you. Literally, I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at you so I can prepare you in the event of whole school e-learning being implemented for any period of time. Okay? I hope it doesn't happen, but we have to be realistic about it. So what does this mean? We're going to do checks for understandings. You're going to read something. We're going to check if you understood it or not. Assessments, quizzes, tests. Okay? Going to check to see how well you understood it and apply your knowledge. Digital breakouts. 7th graders, you guys did things with Mrs. Taylor, Mrs. Schrock, Mrs. Campbell, Miss Hamstra, where you basically did the box ones. Well, these are now digital ones. 8th graders, we did them last year. Hyperdoc activities, or I call them one-stop shops. Everything will be done on one document and turned in. Projects, 7th grade, hurricane labs, earthquake labs. 8th graders, we've got a pure project ad coming up, all sorts of things. Third-party practice. This will have you going out to an outside website and doing an activity. For instance, we are required by state law, 2 weeks prior to the general election in November, I have to teach you about the election and the election process. Okay? One of the things we'll do is go out to a site called iCivics, where you will be trying to win the White House. Next, Screencastify. Okay, you're going to be doing projects possibly for me or homework for me where you're going to have to record yourself and submit it to me. TIQAs. You guys started these last year. We're going to add a little bit more. You're going to add primary documents to support your answer. And historical mysteries. So these are just some of the many things I'm going to be throwing at you during this first quarter to get you guys prepared. So, what does this also mean? Come prepared every day to learn. Come with the necessary materials. Homework. Okay, we're going to talk about it right now. There is no credit for late work. Period. Unless you are sick and then you get to follow the absent makeup policy. But if you're here, it's due generally the next day unless otherwise stated. Also, there is no extra credit work. I don't believe in giving extra credit. You didn't do the work in the first place. I'm not going to reward you by giving you work to bring up your grade that you didn't do in the first place. Okay? So there's no credit for late work. It's due when it's due. That's what we talked about. The grace period is now gone. Charged Chromebooks. Make sure your Chromebooks are charged, ready to go. You need to have a folder for the class and a notebook, writing utensil, and mask. Now, granted, you guys at home, you're going to be doing all your stuff online, so you guys will create a file folder on your Google Drive that has 7th grade social studies in it. And, of course, the wonderful masks. So let's talk about the masks. Okay? We'll get to that in a minute. Behavior. Okay? Because we said every second is precious, we do not have time for antics. We don't have time for you being the class clown, for you being cute, for you distracting other students. You do not, repeat, do not have the right to interfere in the learning process of others. It is against state law. Okay? And when I write you up, that's what I'm putting down. You are interfering in the learning process of others. Just because you may not want to learn that day does not give you the right to stop someone else from learning. You will be removed immediately. Some of you might be frequent flyers in with Mr. Mismo. If you haven't grown up, changed from 7th graders to 8th graders and 6th graders to 7th graders, I have a funny feeling he's going to know you guys quite well. This is your one and only warning. Do your own work, okay? Be prepared to learn every day. Do your work. Do your work. Don't do the work for somebody else. Don't share your answers with somebody else. Copying, aka cheating, will not be tolerated. All school policies will be followed. The first time, it's a 0. Your parents are going to be notified. The second time, it's a 0, plus I believe a detention for both parties, okay? The third time you decide to do it, now this is in any class. It's not 3 times in my class, 3 times in Mr. Atwood's class. It could be 1 time in my class, 1 time in Mr. Atwood's class, and then 1 time in Miss Olson's class. 3 times, you fail for the semester. That is what you guys are looking at. In colleges, they will tell you to leave. You will be kicked out. Okay? It's not worth it. Do your own work. So don't put yourself in a situation where you are falling behind due to your own doing because of distractions. Now, those of you in the brick and mortar setting, you guys stay on a schedule. Those of you at home, you need to stay on a schedule. Put the distractions away. The Xboxes, the PlayStations, the ATVs, the mopeds, okay? Any of those nifty gadgets you might have gotten that have been consuming your summer, put them away. Those are for the weekend, okay? There is no grace period this year. All work is due when it is due. Also, you only get 1 attempt at the homework. Since it's going to be on Google Forms and those, it will tell me if you've tried more than 1 time. If I grade something and submit it back to you, don't resubmit it with changes saying, oh, well, here's the new one. No, you get graded on what you turn in. Okay, so if you submit it early, it's going to be graded right there on the spot. Okay, don't play the game either, as some of you decided to do to be funny with me last year of, oh, well, I'm just going to wait to the very last second and turn it in. Well, if you're 1 second late, it's late. So get it turned in. Okay, if you submit it late, past the due date or time, it will be a 0. Okay, you still need to do it. You're going to get a 0, but it's not going to keep pinging your parents that you did not get the work done. It's just going to say late after you turn it in. So you're in control. Now, what I want to talk to you about, why we just talked about that, is John Wooden. Some of you probably have never heard of him. Is from Indiana. He's an Indiana hero. Okay, he's an Indiana legend. Born and raised in Martinsville, Indiana. Went on to play basketball at Purdue University, Boiler Up. He was an All-American on their national championship team, and then went on to become one of the greatest college basketball coaches the NCAA has ever had at UCLA. Won, I believe, 10 national championships in a row, an 88-game winning streak, 12 national championships overall. But as he coached, he built this philosophy. And one of the big ones that he got the players to understand is you have to be honest and you have to deal with adversity. So this is perfect time, since we just talked about cheating and taking advantage of situations. Never lie, never cheat, never steal. Okay? The 2 sets of 3. Never lie, never cheat, never steal. Number 1, if you lie, you have to keep lying to cover up the lie, and then you forget what the lie was in the first place. Never cheat. Okay? Cutting corners is not going to help you reach your potential. And never steal. Okay? Another way to look at this is it's your character. It's who you really are. Okay? There's something called unshakable character. Your character is who you are when you are by yourself. Okay? When you're alone by yourself and no one is watching, how you conduct yourself, that is your character. Do you do what is right all the time or some of the time? Okay? Because anyone can have a public face and be the greatest person in the world, but behind closed doors, they could be the biggest idiot in the world. And never steal. Okay? Goes without saying. Don't steal someone else's work. Okay? Don't steal property or other people's things. It's one of the 10 Commandments. Now, when you deal with adversity, okay, we are all going to deal with adversity throughout this year. Some of us more than others. but it's how you handle your adversity that will make you a stronger person. Number one is you don't whine about it. No one likes to hear a whiner. Okay, the old adage, would you like some cheese with that wine? No, we don't want to whine. Okay, I don't want to hear a whiner. Okay, don't complain about it. Complaining about it isn't going to change the situation. And don't make excuses. Face up or man up to the problem. Okay, there's another thing that they say, choose your attitude. Okay, that's really what adversity is about, is choosing your attitude. Okay, even though you don't have a choice about the work, you always have a choice about the way you go about your work. Okay, so if you're just like a grumpy Gus all the time, no one's going to want to be around you. Okay, your job isn't going to be fulfilling. Your life isn't going to be fulfilling. Your relationships are not going to be fulfilling. People aren't going to want to be around you. Okay, if you're a complainer, I don't want to do. But if you're positive and say, hey, let's do this. It's not going to go away. So you can either do it with a good attitude and say, hey, I'm going to make the best of this, even though it's the worst job in the world, or you can just sit there and be angry. Okay, and then those people start making excuses. Well, this is too hard. I can't do it. Okay, no, the Marines have a great saying: improvise, adapt, overcome. Figure out a way to do it. Okay, improvise, adapt to the situation, overcome the situation. That's what this school year is all about: improvising, adapting, and overcoming to a fluid situation. So, this is what I expect from you: your best attitude, your best behavior, and your best effort every day. That's all I ask. Okay? John Wooden also has this other quote: give me 100%. You can't make up for a poor effort today by giving me 110% tomorrow. You don't have 110%. You only have 100%, and that's what I want from you right now. So, talk about this real quick. You see athletes all the time on TV. Oh, I gave 120%. No, you didn't. You gave 100%. You don't have 120%. Nobody has 120%. Okay? Now, someone like, yeah, I didn't prepare as well as I should have. They're at least being honest. Hey, I didn't give 100% in practice. I didn't give 100%, when I was supposed to be studying the playbook or something like that. Okay? Give 100%. Try to give 100% every day. Some days it's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard sometimes to come up here and give you 100%, but I try each and every day. Okay? I can't give you 110% tomorrow if I only give you 50% today. Okay? You guys can't give me 150% tomorrow if you're only at 50% today. And sometimes when you're sick, it's hard. We understand that. But those of you that are here, give 100%. That's all we ask. Your best effort. Because that's the only way you're going to reach your full potential. If you keep giving 70, 70, 70, no one's going to want you. Okay? You're not going to get that job. Well, I want it more than... No, you only do the work 70% of the time. So look at it this way. Okay, this goes with John Wooden again. Success is the peace of mind, which is a direct result of the self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to become the best of which you are capable. Okay, success is the peace of mind, that calming in your mind saying, hey, you know what? I did my best today. I did my very best. And you know what? It worked or it didn't work. I have that self-satisfaction knowing I did my very best today in which I was capable. I don't have regrets. Oh, I could have done something better. I should have. Yeah, you might always have regrets, but if as long as you give 100% and you fall on your face, hey, Thomas Edison found 1,000 ways not to invent the light bulb. He had that many failures. But that one time he got successful, hey, he talks more about the 999 times he didn't make the light bulb than when he did make the light bulb. Okay? You make the effort. You have to make the effort. Not your parents, not me. We can bring you to the trough, but we can't make you eat or drink. You have to be willing to do the work. So let's look at this way, how it builds up. Okay, pennies. We're in a national coin shortage right now. Don't know why. Okay, a good banker is not careless with pennies. Okay, a good student should not be careless with details. The difference between 6th grade and 7th grade, more detail. 7th and 8th, more detail. 8th to 9th, more detail. Your life is about the details. Who's willing to go and dot the I's, cross the T's, make sure all the details are done? Those are the most successful people. And those details add up. So if there's lots of details and you take care of them, that pile is going to be huge. If you're sloppy with the details, who cares? You're not going to have a pile of pennies. A pile of pennies will add up. What you can expect from me, my best effort to allow each of you to reach your full potential. I want you to be the next astronaut. I want you to be the next veterinarian, accountant, farmer, pipe fitter, welder, photographer. I want you to reach your potential. And that's my goal, is to challenge each of you every day, taking you out of your comfort zone, stretching your mind so that you may grow. Now, also, I'm going to respond to your questions in a timely fashion. Okay? Many of you 8th graders know, boom. You guys emailed me during the e-learning stint. I got back to you pretty quick. Okay? And I tried to find an answer for you if it was something that you needed an answer for, like a technical issue. But I will not give you the answer to a question. I will guide you to make connections necessary to find out the answer, but giving you the answer doesn't help you learn. And that's part of the problem. You guys want the instant satisfaction. Well, just tell me. It's too much work to look it up. Like, how do you spell a word? I'm going to tell you each and every time. D-I-C-T-O-N-A-R-Y. Oh, I don't know what that means. Look it up in a dictionary. Well, how can I look it up in a dictionary if I don't know how to spell it? Sound it out. Okay? You have to be responsible for your learning. I will help direct you to it, but I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm going to make you discover it. So John Wooden has one for me. Nothing can give you greater joy than doing something for another. Me doing something for you is you reaching your potential. Down the road, finding out that, hey, you're a pharmacist, you're a newspaper editor, you're a school teacher, you're a doctor, you're an artist, okay? That I played a little part in shaping your future, that gives me the joy. That you can be the best you can be. So now let's get down to the basics. Those of you that are virtual, okay, you guys don't have to really worry about this, but the seating charts and masks. Seating charts are mandatory. These are non-negotiable. Your seat is what it is. You do not get to choose your seat. We had to select the seats for you for contact tracing in case there is a presumptive positive or a positive case that should arise. We have to be able to contact trace. This is not negotiable. So don't even try, get up and walk around. No. Your seat is your seat, and that's where you stay. Now, due to the physical size of our classroom and the class size itself, we must wear our masks in the classroom and also the hallways. Okay? So when we're in here, we're all facing forward now. We're 6 feet apart, front to back, left to right. So as long as we're all facing forward while we're doing individual work, we can take mask breaks, drop them, get some fresh air, because trust me, I don't like them any more than you. But if it helps contain the spread and we can be in school longer, if not the whole school year, so be it. Next, the Chromebooks, okay? We'll be closed until told to open them up, okay? Do not enter the room and open it up. Some of you last year, when you walked down the hallways, your fingers were playing on your Chromebooks. 7th graders, you were the worst ones about this, okay? Not going to happen, okay? Do not enter the room and open it up. 8th graders, that was some of you. You immediately went and started playing your games. Not going to be playing games. It's not going to be fun for you. You control the Chromebook. The Chromebook does not control you. So at this time, those of you that are in the brick and mortar setting, open up your Chromebooks, fire them up, and go out to your Google Classroom. So while you guys are going into Google Classroom, let's talk about the textbooks. This year, we will not have hard-copied textbooks. Unless you absolutely need one, okay? Contact me, or if your parents want you to have one, contact me. But everything will be on the Chromebook. 7th graders, you guys will have yours. I created a web page that houses all the different chapters. They are PDFs, so you can download them. 8th graders, yours is actually a website. by the publishing company, and you will go out to it, and your username and password is simply your school username and your school password. Those of you that are new, okay, as soon as you get your username and password, I will create your accounts for you, add you to the class rosters. That way you have access to your online books. Now that you guys are in Google Classroom, okay, virtual learners, each of you guys were invited in to join the classroom. If you did not receive an email invitation, please contact me, although you wouldn't be watching this video right now. Brick and mortar learners, up on the board behind me is your Google Classroom code, okay? All letters are lowercase, okay? So numbers are the taller ones. So once you log in, you should be good to go. If you are having difficulties, let me know, and I'll write your name down, and I will shoot you an invitation if you cannot get in. Now, once you get into Google Classroom, you're going to see a stream and classwork. Let's talk first about the stream. Okay, this is where your online textbooks are located. Also, this is where the classroom rules are located, and school policies are located as well. I have also included a syllabus. A syllabus is basically your course outline, or what you're going to be doing on a daily basis. Now, as I said earlier, I might have bitten off a lot more than I can chew in trying to pack a lot into these minutes. So things might have to be adjusted on a daily basis. Okay, so things are subject to change without notice. I've only put in August because we know that there's probably already going to be changes when the NWEA comes out and how they're going to do pictures on Tuesday the 25th. But if you notice, items in black, okay, so you look at the calendar, the items in black, those are the topic for the day, so what we're going to be doing. Items in red, that is telling you that, hey, there's homework for that day. So there's different abbreviations I've used. Okay, CFUs are checks for understanding. These are Google Forms, generally true, false, fill in the blank, matching type activities, guided readings, same, but there's also short answers that you're going to be doing. All assignments are due the next day unless otherwise stated, and they are due before class starts. So there will be a time, a due date and time in Google Classroom when it is due. Please make sure you get it done by that time. If not, it's a 0. Okay? Plain and simple. It's a 0, unless, of course, you are sick. So, for instance, if something is assigned for Wednesday, it's due Thursday. Thursday is due Friday. Fridays would be due Monday at the beginning of class. And when I mean beginning of class, that means 1 minute before that bell rings. Okay? That's before class, not as class starts, but 1 minute before. Now, if you also look, you're going to see red letters highlighted with yellow. These are days when you're going to have an assessment, okay? A quiz, a test, and all tests and quizzes will be online through Google Forms. Grades, okay? We're not doing categories this year. Everything is going to be total points like it was at the end of last year. Kind of hard to do categories when some people are virtual and some people are brick and mortar. So I actually like this better because this gives you, maybe you're not a good test taker, maybe you're not a good quiz taker. One thing is not going to kill you. It's going to be basically it's an average of everything you do, because it's going to be your total points accumulated over all assignments, tests, quizzes, projects, participation, and then divided by the total number of points possible. So to me, it helps if you're not a good test taker or a good quiz taker. So at this time, we'll ask any questions because it's time to get started.